NFL fans, welcome back to a brand new episode of the J All Day NFL Show. I have a great episode lined up for you guys today. We're going to do predictions with scores for all 16 games in week 1. Guys, if you're new to the channel, we absolutely crushed our picks last year. The last 9 weeks, we went on a freaking heater, man. 110-39, 185-87 over the entire season. We absolutely crushed it. And if you're into sports betting, make sure you check out my memberships where you get my bets every single Friday for only $4.99 a month. We finished the season up 89% on our unit bets. Absolutely crushed it. We got the Waterboy jersey on. I'm really excited to get into this video, guys. Let me know in the comments below. Did you check out Happy Gilmore 2? I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to watch it tonight with the fam. I'm excited about that as well. Let's get into these week 1 predictions with scores. Before we kick off this video, guys, if you could do me a huge favor and hit that like button, it really does help get this video out to a bunch of different viewers, get us into that YouTube algorithm. And if you want killer NFL content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We only need 100 more subscribers to hit 16,000. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Let's kick it off, guys. Cowboys Birds, September 4th. I can't wait for this game. My Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. But, yo, listen, I'm going to keep it real with you guys. The Eagles lost a lot on defense. Darius Slay's gone. Josh Sweat's gone. Milton Williams is gone. C.J. Gardner-Johnson is gone. Woo, baby. But there are some guys that are going to step up and fill those voids. Pretty much the entire offense is coming back minus Mekhi Becton, who's now with the Chargers, right? But listen, Micah Parsons just announced a couple hours ago that he is requesting a trade out of Dallas. It is a shit show there. New head coach Schottenheimer in there, bringing in Eberflus to coach the defense. Remember, the Cowboys are one of the worst rush defenses in the entire NFL. Can you imagine what they're going to look like without Micah Parsons? They got a young offensive line. Tyler Guyton has a serious knee injury. There's a fracture there. No ACL tear, but he's going to be out for several weeks. Probably going to miss the beginning of the season. So this offensive line is young, inexperienced, and not very good in my opinion. And they can't stop the run. This is a recipe for the Eagles to kick the shit out of the Cowboys in week 1. I'm going 30-17. My Philadelphia Eagles get a huge win in week 1. All right, next up, we got another great game. This one is actually in Brazil. We got the Chargers and AFC champions Kansas City Chiefs, guys. This game is going to be a lot of fun. I really like what the Chargers are doing, man. I really do. And they look great in the Hall of Fame game. It's a preseason game. It is what it is, right? But I'm really excited to see Trey Harris, Omarion Hampton in this offense with Justin Herbert and Ladd McConkey, guys. This whole division is going to be so much fun to watch. I think the Raiders, Chargers, Broncos, and Chiefs are going to be battling out to the last few weeks of the season. So who do I ultimately think wins this game? The Chargers allowed the lowest points in the entire NFL last year with 301. That is amazing, right? This defense is sneaky really good. That's less than 18 points per game, guys. I think this is going to be a really close game. Remember, the Chiefs lost Joe Thuney. Rashee Rice did get sentenced to jail time, 30 days in jail, that he can serve over his 5 years probation for that car wreck that he got in or whatever. So, for me, a suspension is probably looming for Rashee Rice. So, is Pacheco healthy? Is Travis Kelce, what's he going to look like, guys? I don't know, man. He looks a little bit older each and every year. He kind of slows down a little bit. I'm worried about this offensive line for the Chiefs, so that's why I'm going to go with the Chargers to win a really close game, 23-20. They played in really close games last year. Listen to this. Joe Alt was one of the best right tackles in the entire NFL last year from weeks 10 to 18. That 81.5 PFF grade only is behind Lane Johnson at right tackle. So the second half of the year, he really started figuring some things out, pairing him up with Rashawn Slater. This is going to be a monster offensive line for years to come, guys. I just like the way they match up, man. I like the moxie and the juice that's going along with these Chargers. I'm going with the Chargers, guys, 23-20. Next up on the slate, guys, we got the Raiders and the Patriots in New England. Two new head coaches for both of these teams. Pete Carroll for the Raiders, Mike Vrabel for the Patriots. We know Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly, the new offensive coordinator, are going to run the football. They got their running back in the draft with Ashton Jeanty. Christian Wilkins for the Raiders just got released. There's a whole bunch of crazy shit going on there. He's kissing dudes. He doesn't want to get surgery. They cut him. It's a whole shit show there in Vegas. And they're really going to rely on Malcolm Kuntz to come back from that injury where he missed all of last season, right? This Raiders defense, for me, not looking great on paper. We'll have to see how they look as the season progresses. But on the flip side, the Patriots defense, they're going to be a top 10, maybe even a top 5 defense led by cornerback Christian Gonzalez. Really, really talented group over there in New England on the defensive side of the ball. But on the flip side, the offensive line is not good at all, in my opinion. Not at all. They went shopping. In free agency, the Patriots did, bringing in guys like Morgan Moses, Milton Williams for $1 bajillion, right? So we'll have to see how that all kind of plays out. They got Stephon Diggs, Carlton Davis, Mac Hollins, a slew of guys, Will Campbell and Kyle Williams, the wide receiver in the draft. Who do I ultimately think wins this game? I just trust Pete Carroll reuniting with Geno Smith a little bit more right now. I think, especially out of the gate, the Patriots are really going to struggle to score points. Remember, Mike Vrabel is more of a want to run the football kind of guy, not super creative with play calling on the offensive side of the football, right? But on the flip side, the Raiders got Ashton Jeanty. They got Brock Bowers, Jacoby Myers. I mean, I think this offense is going to be a little bit better than people think. But I think this is going to be a low-scoring, kind of slow, a lot of runs in this game. I'm going 17-14 with the Raiders right now. I just think that this Patriots offense is really young. The wide receivers are not very good. I think with Kuntz and Crosby, they're going to be able to get after Drake May a little bit. I think it's going to be a really close game. It could be like a last possession type of game, but I'm going with Pete Carroll and Geno Smith, the more experienced quarterback, for week 1. Raiders to get the W, 17-14. Next up, this Steelers-Jets game is going to be a lot of fun for Steelers fans, right? The Jets. Justin Fields is already dealing with a dislocated toe. That's going to slow him down in camp. Quinnen Williams is dealing with some injuries as well. The Pittsburgh Steelers, on the flip side, have a really dominant front seven that's going to get after a very young offensive line. I like the Jets' offensive line. They drafted Armand Membu, which I really, really like, pairing him up with last year's first-round pick, Olu Fashanu. But they're really young, and they got their hands full with Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, right? Really, really talented group there, right? They also added Darius Slay, which I really, really like, to that secondary. It's going to give them some veteran leadership there in the secondary for the Steelers. They also brought in the elephant in the room, Aaron Rodgers, right? No more Pickens. He gets traded to Dallas. So they got DK Metcalf, brought him over from Seattle. So I think DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers should be on the same page by the time the season starts. But I think they're going to want to run the football for sure. And I just think the Steelers are a better football team. I can't see the Jets scoring a lot of points in this game. I'm going to go 27-16 Steelers. Listen, the Jets have a new head coach. I just find it hard to believe that Mike Tomlin is going to lose to the Jets in week 1 with a new head coach, Justin Fields as the quarterback. I just don't see it happening, man. I just can't see it happening. I look for Caleb Johnson to get involved early in the season for the Pittsburgh Steelers, because you know the Steelers are going to want to run the football, right? Yeah, the Jets did draft Mason Taylor in the second round, who I think will be a good fit, but he's a young kid, not a ton of experience, right? So I'm rolling with the Steelers, guys, 27-16. Next up, we got the Dolphins and the Colts. OMG, guys. The Dolphins have been ravished with injuries already. Jalen Ramsey got shipped out of town. Tavon Holland's not coming back. I mean, it's just crazy, man. They are getting Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips back, but that's not going to be enough. They may have the worst secondary in the entire NFL. For the Dolphins, guys, they already lost Kader Kohou to a season-ending ACL tear. That's awful. I mean, this secondary is just so bad. But now, let's move on to the Colts. they have their shortcomings too, especially at the quarterback position, whether it's Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones. Anthony Richardson has been extremely inaccurate with the football in camp. From what I've seen, it's not looking great. And Jonathan Taylor was not great last year, so we'll have to see if he could step up. I do like the wide receivers for Indianapolis, Josh Downs and Michael Pittman Jr. Can this offense kind of rebound a little bit? They did lose some offensive linemen, Ryan Kelly and Will Fry, so in the middle of that offensive line. So I think this is going to be a sloppy, ugly game on both sides. I do like how the Colts brought in Tyler Warren, which is going to kind of help in those intermediate routes, like under 15 yards, because Anthony Richardson's accuracy issues are a huge, glaring hole in his game. I wouldn't be surprised if Daniel Jones is the starting quarterback in week 1. But I'm going to go with the home team here. I'm going to go 27-20 Colts. I think there's going to be turnovers, strip sacks, interceptions, pick sixes. Maybe someone takes it to the house on a kickoff. I think it's going to be an absolute shit show of a game. This is probably the game I'm least excited to watch in week 1 is the Dolphins and the Colts, guys. But I think the Colts get it done at home. Next up, Cardinals at New Orleans taking on the Saints. Saints have a new head coach. Kellen Moore is their former offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles. But boy, oh boy, does he have a huge, huge, huge mountain to climb to get the New Orleans Saints back into contention. I think the defense is going to regress as well because Dennis Allen, pretty good defensive mind, he gets fired. He's gone, right? He's with the Bears now. So, Derek Carr retires. Tyrann Mathieu retires. There's not a lot of meat on the bone there, man. And they're kind of an aging skill position roster with, they got Brandon Cooks on the outside who comes back, and they got Alvin Kamara, the running back. I do like Chris Olave, but I don't know, man. And I think the Arizona Cardinals are a team on the up and up, right? I do like what they did in the draft, Arizona, bringing in Walter Nolan, Will Johnson. They added Josh Sweat in free agency. This offseason was about revamping this defense and getting it up to speed, right? Because the offense is pretty much the whole team's coming back. Paris Johnson is really starting to get to be like a top 10 left tackle in the NFL. I really think that this team is going to take a step forward in 2025. I wish they would have brought in a number 2 wide receiver opposite of Marvin Harrison Jr. James Conner is getting a little bit older as well, so we'll have to see what the running back situation is going to look like there. But Kyler Murray's getting paid a lot of money. So the last 2 years of his contract, 27 and 28, I believe, are not guaranteed. So this year and next year, it's a shit or get off the pot type of situation for Kyler Murray. Or Arizona's going to have to try to figure something out. Trey McBride is one of my favorite players in the NFL. One of the best, if not the best, tight end currently in the NFL. I like the Cardinals by blowout here, guys. I think they absolutely dominate this game. I'm going 30-13. I think the New Orleans Saints are really going to struggle to score points. And this defense, without Dennis Allen, is going to regress mightily, in my opinion. That's why Cards dominate 30-13. Next up is a game that I think could get a little dicey for Commanders fans. I love the Giants' chances in this spot. Giants at the Commanders in week 1. The Giants kind of revamped the quarterback spot, bringing in Russell Wilson, right? Pairing him up with Malik Neighbors, I absolutely love that. The Giants' offensive line outside of Andrew Thomas is pretty mediocre, right? Which is a huge concern for me moving forward, right? On the flip side, the defense, the front seven, OMG. The front seven is absolutely ridiculous, guys. Top 5 front seven. Abdul Carter, Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Thibodeau. And then they also drafted Darius Alexander, a guy I really, really love. Got these really long arms. He's going to be a problem at the NFL level. And then in the 4th round, they drafted Cam Scatterbo, one of my favorite players in this past year's draft. I think he's going to work really well with Russell Wilson, who does like to throw the deep ball, but he also likes his check down. So Cam Scatterbo in the passing game, kick and run, great routes. He's got really good hands. I kind of like what they did there. And then coming out, was it yesterday, Terry McLaurin has requested a trade. If he's not there opening day, I'm definitely going with the Giants to win. Mark my words. I think the Commanders get something done here, guys, but just take that into consideration, right? without Terry McLaurin, this offense looks very, very different. And if you take a look at this defense in totality, it's a very, very weak unit, man. Like, they're like mediocre at best. They don't really have any great players anywhere, right? Bobby Wagner's probably their best player, but he's 50 bajillion years old, man. And the one thing that's really, Commanders fans love that they got Laramie Tunsil, but last year, the Texans were a bottom 5 offensive line, and they still traded their best player on their offensive line out of town. That's how much they did not like Laramie Tunsil and his attitude, that they, with a shit offensive line, they still traded him. So we'll have to see how he gels in this locker room, man. So that's something we got to really keep our eyes on moving forward, right? So who ultimately wins this game? Is it going to be the Giants or it's going to be the Commanders? I think it's going to be a close game. Both of their games that they played last year were decided by 5 points or less. So the Giants and Brian Daboll play this Commanders team very, very tight. It's going to be another close game. I'm going 26-23 Commanders. Next up is a very interesting game between the Carolina Panthers traveling to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Travis Hunter looks like he's going to be playing both ways in Jacksonville. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch throughout this season and see if he can stay healthy playing both ways. I think he's going to play more snaps on offense. Him opposite Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be a lot to deal with. But honestly, guys, I think Trevor Lawrence sucks. I'm not a fan. They paid him way too much money. Like, is he a top 15 guy? Maybe. Maybe he's not worth $60 million a year. Like, that was... The NFL has a paying quarterback problem. There's maybe 5 guys that deserve big-time money, and everyone else kind of doesn't. Straight up, Trevor Lawrence needs to be better, or he's going to be out of a job very, very, very soon. The Panthers have a sneaky, really good offensive line. Left tackle Iquanu has been getting better and better year after year. I like their offensive line. Yeah, and then their right tackle, Taylor Moton, one of the most consistent right tackles the last 8 years in the NFL. He's a really good pass blocker. I'm a big fan of his. They drafted Tedero McMillan in round 1. So I think this offense is going to be fine. Solid offensive line, good weapons. Hunter Renfrow looked really, really good in camp. A lot of depth at the wide receiver position for the Panthers. But there's a huge, stinking, smelly, dirty diaper but. This defense sucks. Like, straight up ass cheeks. Their defense is really, 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 really bad. So Trevor Lawrence, Travis Hunter, and Brian Thomas Jr. could take advantage of that in this game. I've been going back and forth on this game, and honestly, if you're going to bet on this game, you need to get your head examined. I don't know who the hell is going to win this game. It's going to be really, really, really close. But, man, the Jaguars, I just like what's going on in Carolina, man. I think Bryce Young has got the locker room back. They got fun, exciting offense. I'm going to go with the Panthers in this spot to win a close game on the road, 24-23, steal it with a last-second field goal. I just don't believe in Trevor Lawrence, man. I just don't. I just feel like he's kind of got this laissez-faire attitude towards football. I don't feel like the guys want to go to battle with him, man. If you ever played football, you ever put that, helmet on, put your pads on, you want to go to war with your buddies, man. The guy standing next to you, you're going to battle, man. And I don't know if these guys want to go to battle with Trevor Lawrence. I sure as shit wouldn't. So I'm going to go with the Carolina Panthers, 24-23. Next up, we got the Bengals and the Browns. Luckily for the Bengals, who historically have looked like shit the first few weeks of the last, 5 seasons, they get the Browns. They got 4 quarterbacks. That means they have no quarterbacks. Kenny Pickett dealing with some hamstring stuff. So they got old man Flacco and the babies. Shedeur Sanders is a dipshit. I think he could play in this league, but I think he's got a piss poor attitude that he needs to grow up. Straight up. He needs to straight up just grow up. I don't know what's going to happen, but this offense is terrible. I think they have the worst wide receiver room in the entire NFL. By a long shot, actually. It's really, 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 really bad. I'm going with the Bengals to win in this spot. Even though their defense is still trash, they got the Shamar Stewart deal done. But Trey Hendrickson is at camp, but he's not practicing. He's just such a good dude. He's already mentoring Shamar Stewart. Pay the man his money, dude. He's the only great player you have on this defense. Pay the man. He deserves every dollar that he gets. Pisses me off, man. The Bengals front office is an absolute dumpster fire, guys. I don't like it at all whatsoever. And then for Cleveland, starting cornerback Martin Emerson Jr. Tore his Achilles, so he's done for the year. Jordan Hicks retires. I think the Bengals dominate 28-16. I think it's only that close because the Browns get some garbage time points, guys. So I don't know, man. The Browns are going to suck ass again. I don't know why Myles Garrett re-signed for all that money. I know he got paid a shitload of money, but this team has no chance of winning for the foreseeable future. Maybe if they tank, they get Arch Manning next year and they can kind of turn this franchise around. But it all starts at the top, dude. And the top for the Browns is not good. It's not good, guys. It's not good. Bengals dominate 28-16. Next up is one of my favorite games, probably one of the most competitive games on this slate, is the Buccaneers at the Falcons, right? The Falcons offense, high-flying offense, Michael Penix. You got Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Algier. This is a pretty solid offensive line as well. And then for the Buccaneers, this offense was super good last year, right, guys? So Tristan Wirfs is going to miss some time. That's a huge loss for them. One of the better left tackles in the NFL. I really, really like this offensive line when Tristan Wirfs can play. But him not playing sucks. But, man, the skill position guys are top-notch. Bucky Irving at the running back position. Then you got Chris Godwin, Emeka Egbuka they got from Ohio State, and Mike Evans. It's really, really, really awesome. And then they got Ben Morrison in the draft, the cornerback from Notre Dame. One of my favorite players in this entire draft, man. Turn on the tape at Notre Dame. When he's healthy, he's freaking elite, man. The Falcons drafted James Pierce Jr. and Jalen Walker to shore up a pass rush that was MIA last season. One of the worst teams in the NFL after getting after the quarterback. So we'll have to see. Can James Pierce Jr. and Jalen Walker be impact players enough to kind of make this defense like middle of the road, right? So who wins this game, man? I don't know, man. It's going to be so close. So the Buccaneers also added Hassan Reddick. Does he have anything left in the tank? We'll have to see. We'll have to see what's going on there. But I think it's a really close game. Who wins? I'm going with Baker. 28-27 in a really, really close game. If the Falcons ended up winning this game, I wouldn't be surprised at all. It's going to be an extremely competitive game. But all those weapons, man. How the hell are the Falcons going to deal with Emeka Egbuka, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and Bucky Irving, man? It's going to be really hard for anyone to deal with, let alone a team who can't get after the quarterback. That's why I'm going to go with the Buccaneers, 28-27. Next up, Titans at the Broncos. I don't got a lot to say about this game. The Titans are shitty, and the Broncos are really good. The NFL did the Titans no favors at all, giving them the Broncos in Denver in week 1. So not only were they the worst team in the NFL last year, now they got to go on the road in Denver with that thin air, pretty much flying across the country with a rookie quarterback and a below-average roster. Yikes. I think the Broncos win the AFC West this year, guys. I like what they're doing there. Bo Nix. I just want to pat myself on the back, guys. I told you Bo Nix was going to fit really well in the NFL. People are obsessed with guys who can throw the ball 800 freaking yards, and they have a howitzer coming out of their arm and all this bullshit. But being able to throw with touch and anticipation and into tight windows is so important in the NFL. And Bo Nix completed, 80% of his passes at Oregon? I was like, I think he's going to find a place in the NFL, and he sure as shit did in Denver with Sean Payton. I like what's going on there. I'm a huge fan of the Broncos. They're going to have a top 5 defense. The offense is only getting better and better. They brought in Evan Ingram as well, coming over from the Jaguars. And yeah, this dude's a dog. Trevor Lawrence, look at Evan Ingram's stats over the last few years with this time in Jacksonville, dude. And Trevor Lawrence isn't that good. I think Sean Payton's going to do huge things with Evan Ingram, dude. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I'm going with the Broncos in a blowout. I'm going 35-13. Absolutely blowing the doors off it. The spread's at 7.5. I like that line, guys. I like it. Guys, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate you tuning in to this video. A little longer, but I want to get into these games so you guys can make some money in week 1. Again, if you want some sports betting tips, $4.99 a month. I'll make your money back in week 1. I guarantee it. Check out my memberships. 49ers and the Seahawks. Man, the 49ers just can't catch a break with these injuries. Ricky Purcell came back from a hamstring injury. Brandon Ayuk is still rehabbing that knee. Juwan Jennings is dealing with some injuries too. What is it? Calf injury. The defense ranked 29th in points allowed last year. I mean, look at all these guys that are gone. Travarius Ward, Dre Greenlaw, Javon Hargraves, Talanoa Hufanga, guard Aaron Banks, all gone. They've had a pretty sleepy offseason too. They got the Brock Purdy deal done, but for the most part, I don't love it. On the flip side, Sam Darnold had a good season last year with Minnesota because they had a great offensive line. PFF has them ranked 30th with their offensive line. Sam Darnold, behind a bad offensive line, is going to be a bad quarterback, straight up. I think Sam Darnold is going to look like complete shit this year. Mark my words. You heard it here first. They did draft Gray Zabel in round 1, but that's not enough because, listen, left tackle Charles Cross just had surgery on a finger. He's probably going to miss at least a couple weeks in the regular season, I would assume, right? So I think with Robert Saleh going back to San Francisco to man this defense, he's going to get this unit back to where it was a few years ago over time. But I expect him to get after Sam Darnold's ass in week 1, man. I really do. Hopefully these wide receivers can get healthy, but trust me, you guys know San Francisco can run the ball with anyone at the running back spot. Christian McCaffrey looks like he's got some juice back, man. So far in camp, he's cutting. He looks pretty damn good so far, guys. He looks healthy. He looks ready to freaking go. I'm excited to watch him play this year. The Seahawks have a pretty good defense that's going to keep them in a lot of games this year. But that offensive line is booty cheeks, and they're without their best player in week 1, probably. We'll know more as we get closer and closer. We're like 5 weeks, a little less than 5 weeks away, right? But for me, looking at these rosters, this is going to be another slop fest, I think. But I like San Francisco here. I'm going with the 49ers to win this game. Because remember, the Seahawks also lost DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett is gone as well. They added Cooper Kupp. But I told you guys last year that he looked cooked to me. And I was right. People gave me so much shit. I was watching him in camp, and he just didn't look sharp. His routes didn't look smooth. They weren't as snappy as they once were. He looked old, and he played old last year. He didn't look good. Guy deals with injuries all the time. I'm going with the 49ers in a close, sloppy game, 20-17. I don't believe in this offensive line in Seattle, and I think Sam Darnold, especially early on, is going to struggle mightily behind a Swiss cheese offensive line. Next up, we got the Lions and the Packers. One of my favorite games of the week. Woo, baby. A lot of changes here in Detroit. Aaron Glenn, defensive coordinator, now the head coach of the Jets. Ben Johnson, one of the most sought-after offensive coordinators in recent memory, now with the Chicago Bears. So they bring in 2 coordinators. They lost Carlton Davis, who signed with the Patriots. Frank Ragnow retired, and Kevin Zeitler signed with the Titans. The Packers lose Jair Alexander, and that's huge in my opinion because there's not a lot of depth at the cornerback position for the Packers. They brought in Matthew Golden in the draft. They haven't drafted a wide receiver in round 1 in like a decade or something like that. Matthew Golden could be a number 1 guy for Jordan Love. I love Edgerrin Cooper. I love Josh Jacobs. I think they're going to be great. The Lions, however, still have one of the better rosters on the NFL. Aiden Hutchinson will be back healthy. The Lions were just decimated with injuries last year, man. Decimated. Hopefully they can stay healthy a little bit here. But they still got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, and Jared Goff, right? I think it's going to take a little bit of time. So I'm going with the Packers in week 1 to win a really close game, 28-24. The Green Bay Packers get it done in Green Bay. Next up, Texans and the Rams. Matthew Stafford, guys, is dealing with some back stuff. He's going to be out all of next week. We'll have to see how that situation progresses during this offseason, right? The Texans, man, in my opinion, they have the worst offensive line in the NFL. Tons of penalties. They shipped out Tunsil to the Commanders, like I spoke about a little bit earlier. I like what they did in the draft. They brought in Jaden Higgins, who I absolutely love. I mean, the running back spot, they brought in, Nick Chubb, right? Joe Mixon's dealing with some injuries. So I just think that this defense that's elite in Houston is going to be on the field a lot. And I think this Texans team in the third and fourth quarter is going to lose a lot of games because this defense is going to be on the freaking field all the damn time. The Rams in this explosive offense. And Matt Stafford's healthy with Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua, man. Woo, baby. And then, listen, the Rams have a really good front seven. Secondary is a little sus, but that front seven led by Poona Ford, Kobe Turner, Jared Verse. It's a great unit, man. And they played the Eagles the toughest out of all the teams in the playoffs last year. Remember that, guys. So I like the Rams in this spot. I think they dominate. I'm going 28-16. And I think they get a couple field goals in garbage time. But I think they're going to front run this game. I like the Rams in SoFi Stadium. They got a young offensive line that hasn't really played with each other a lot. So they got to go on the road. SoFi Stadium's like weird. It's like this domey kind of but it's like see-through in the top. But it gets really, really loud in there. I live in LA, so I've been in that stadium a bunch of times when the Birds go and play there. It gets really loud. I think an offensive line that got penalized a lot last year with pre-snap penalties is going to have a ton of them in this game on the road in SoFi Stadium. It doesn't look good. Rams dominate 28-16. Next up, we got the Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. Both of these teams went super heavy in the draft on defense. The Ravens get Malachi Starks and Mike Green. Maxwell Harrison Jr. goes to the Buffalo Bills. They added Landon Jackson, a bunch of other guys on defense. I think both of these teams, out of the first 5 rounds, 12 out of the 13 picks were on defense. So these teams want to shore up their defense. But for me, both of these teams need another wide receiver. The Bills especially, right? Is Keon Coleman a number 1 wide receiver in the NFL? That remains to be seen. The Ravens have Zay Flowers. Isaiah Likely I like. Mark Andrews I like. They got Derrick Henry, a pretty good offensive line. That defense, man. The Ravens are my pick to go to the Super Bowl this year from the AFC. I'm going Ravens-Eagles for my Super Bowl pick this year, guys. The Bills look really good. Josh Allen is just so damn good. It's so hard to pick against him at home. This is going to be another Ravens-Bills game that's going to come down to the wire. Whoever turns the ball over in the fourth quarter will lose this game. Man, I just think this Ravens defense is going to be really, really, really good. And I don't know, man. I got a feeling the Ravens win this game. And it's going to be another, I'm going 30-27. 30-27 Ravens, man. I think both of these teams' defenses will be better on paper, but I think these quarterbacks are so damn good. Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are always so much fun to watch. I like the Ravens here. I just think the roster's a little bit better. The Bills needed to go get another wide receiver in the draft, and they did not. They went Maxwell Harrison in round 1. I'm going with the Ravens, guys. And then wrapping up week 1 with scores, guys, we got the Vikings and the Bears. One of the biggest head coaching signings, sought after guys we've seen in quite some time. Ben Johnson, now the head coach for the Bears. Matt Eberflus is gone. He goes to be the defensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys. J.J. McCarthy looks really good in camp, dude. He's slinging the ball all around. The arm strength looks there. The accuracy looks there. I like the Vikings in this spot, dude. I'm going with the Vikings. The Bears' defense is just mediocre at best. They did bring in Dennis Allen to figure out the defense there, but I think that's going to take some time. Caleb Williams, I just think he has too many turnover-worthy plays, takes too many sacks. The Vikings have a better roster. They went 14-3 with Sam freaking Darnold. And they have pretty much the same roster coming back. So I think J.J. McCarthy could be just as good, if not better, than Sam Darnold, in my opinion. I like J.J. McCarthy. I think they win this game. Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, they're all going to get on the same page. Prime time, Caleb Williams, I just don't trust him. And the offensive line, they brought in a bunch of different guys, right? They brought in Joe Tooney, which I love. They brought in Jonah Jackson. Okay. And then Drew Dahlman, people like that move too. And he's better than what they had. But is this going to be all of a sudden an elite offensive line? I don't see it. For me, it's decision making, and I look for the Vikings to run this offense similar to the Michigan offense that J.J. McCarthy ran his last year in college. A lot of play action, a lot of running the football down your throat, but I'm going with the Vikings. I think the Vikings are better coached. I think they got a better roster, and they got the better, overall skill position players, in my opinion. I'm going with the Vikings to get a big victory. Let's go 28-23. Vikings get a big road victory. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the video. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel, and check out my memberships in the description down below. $4.99 a month, and every Friday, members only get my picks. You guys are the best. Peace.